When I saw the first movie in the cinema, what I loved about it so much was this beautiful, original idea, but that yet was so simple. And I think they're always the best ones, the simple ones. How could we have not thought of that before? And I think in terms of films like this, I think if people like putting themselves into the sort of shoes of the characters, and they ask themselves, what would I do? And then, of course, you have the universality of family. How do you protect your children normally, and then how do you protect them in an extreme world like this? It's very appealing. It's extraordinary to be such a fine actor, and then to also be an extraordinarily gifted director. And that's not something you can learn. You can learn the mechanics of directing, you can learn your way around a film set, you can learn the sort of vernacular of it, but to actually know how to tell a story, that's something innate, and he has that. And he's also a beautiful human being and a very generous person, himself and Emily both. So yeah, it was a lovely environment to work in. I felt very privileged. I felt a great deal of affinity for the character. I mean, essentially, you meet a character who's in a state of grief, and he goes in this wonderful. Actors always talk about that journey, but in this case, I think he goes in an actual journey and an emotional journey, and that's very satisfying to play for me. I'm interested in complex, conflicted human beings, because I think most of us are complex, conflicted human beings. Obviously, the world is expanding, and I think the people that were curious to know how this world came to be will get a little more information. They will be teased a little bit more about how because it's kind of expanding outwards like that, rather than starting big and going small, which is very elegant, So yeah, there will be more revealed. John had a really strong vision of how this movie would look. We shot in Buffalo, which is a beautiful place. I really enjoyed working there, but they have a lot of these old disused steel factories, and they look like some sort of ancient civilizations, and we shot all on location, and they sort of become a part of my world, my character's world, but it still has that kind of sort of weirdly bucolic atmosphere that the first movie did, in that this would be a beautiful world if it wasn't for these creatures.